Sakura is a lonely boy who goons for 67 days straight, but when he sees a freak in a bunny costume, he suddenly got what it takes to riz her up. It all begins when Sakura was reading a book at the library, when a thick bunny girl was roaming around. It was quite clear she is invisible to everyone, and as she walked up to Sakura, he kept on staring, surprising the girl that he could actually see her. Sakura recognizes this baddie as Mai, a senior at his school and a well-known actress who was on Diddy's list before the oiled-up freak got arrested. But before Sakura says anything more, Mai warns him to forget what he saw and stay out of her business. The next morning, at school, Sakura spots Mai and asks his friend, Kunami, if he can see her too, and he confirms that he can. Kunami also mentions that Mai missed a lot of classes at the start of the term because of her acting career, so now she has no friends and is often lonely. Just then, Kunami's girlfriend, Saki, arrives and drags him away while staring daggers at Sakura. Later, Saki confronts Sakura, telling him to stay away from Kunami, knowing he's a bad influence because of the rumors around him. She tries to intimidate him, but Sakura mocks her like a Chad, saying that her melons will shrink if she keeps being angry. Later, after school, Sakura sees Mai at the train station as a man tries to take a photo of her for his gooning collection. Sakura steps up and blocks the shot to protect Mai. After the guy leaves, Mai thanks him for the help, and they end up riding the train home together. Sakura mentions he couldn't forget her in a bunny suit and used her for his night as Spurty Magoo, but Mai says that she doesn't mind being someone's creamy fantasy. She then asks if the rumor about Sakura being hospitalized for beating up 3 students is true, but Sakura tells her that he doesn't bother correcting lies, as people will twist stories anyway. Sakura then asks Mai why she wore the bunny outfit, and Mai explains that she's been famous for a long time, and while it was fun at first, it became exhausting being recognized everywhere. So she wished to live in a world where no one knew her, and one day, that wish came true. It started at the aquarium, where people stopped seeing her, and at first, she thought it was a coincidence. But when no one noticed her at a cafe, she realized it was real. Sometimes, people could still see her, so she wore the bunny costume to test where she'd vanish and where she wouldn't. Later, they stop by a bakery, and the cashier ignores Mai completely as she tries to order, so Sakura orders for her. Mai is amazed that Sakura believes her sci-fi-like nonsense, but Sakura explains he's seen similar weird things before, something he knows as adolescent syndrome. To show proof, he invites Mai to his apartment, and once they get to his room, Sakura takes off his top, and Mai thinks he wants to get freaky, but she's shocked when she sees a giant scar on his chest. She asks him how he got it, but he says he's not sure. He then shows her a picture of his sister Keed's injuries, which leaves her shocked. He reveals that Keed had been bullied online in the past, and one day, she came home from school, and he saw mysterious wounds appeared all over her body. Similarly, Sakura woke up with a bloody cut on his chest and was hospitalized, but people made up a story that he beat up 3 boys and got injured in the process. Suddenly, Keed enters the room and mistakes Mai for a call girl, which makes her panic. Sakura calms her down and introduces Mai as his senior, but Keed becomes jealous that her brother now has to share his love with another woman. It surprises Mai that Keed doesn't know who she is, and Sakura explains it's because Keed doesn't watch television to avoid the adolescent syndrome, and he even threw his smartphone away because of it. Sakura concludes that Mai's situation is another case of adolescent syndrome and encourages her to return to acting, believing it will make her visible again. He assumes she wants to go back to acting anyway, but that angers Mai, and she leaves the apartment. He chases after her to return her bunny suit, but she angrily tells Sakura to keep it. Feeling bad for upsetting her, Sakura starts digging into why she quit show business, but only finds nonsense gossip like how Mai was on Epstein Island. Later, at his part-time job, a pesky reporter named Fumika continues to bother him by asking about the rumor around him, but he refuses to budge and tells her to choke on a glizzy. But then, he asks her if she knows about Mai's career, and she says she can dig up things for him. The next day, Sakura talks to Futaba, his other friend who's rocking a Pixar mom body, and asks her if invisibility could be real. Futaba explains that something only truly exists when observed, and if no one acknowledges it, it ceases to exist. The realization hits Sakura, and he grasps that Mai was only seen when she was famous, and now she might vanish completely. Panicking, Sakura rushes home and finds Mai waiting outside his apartment. weak from hunger since no one can see her to serve her food. He hands her some bread he bought earlier, and she accepts it gratefully. The next day, Futaba explains the theory behind Mai's condition to Sakura, comparing it to Schrödinger's cat. She describes placing a cat and a vial of poison inside a sealed box. When asked if the cat is dead or alive, she answers that it's neither until the box is opened, as the cat's well-being can only be determined through observation, which makes her point clear that something only exists when it's seen. Some weeks later, Sakura and Mai go grocery shopping together like a couple. Mai explains that the carrot she's holding, and everything she touches, disappears as soon as she comes into contact with it. Sakura seizes the moment to show her his insane riz, asking her to make him disappear by holding his hand. Mai takes it as an invitation, so she grabs his hand and teases him for planning to sniff her scent on his hand afterward while gooning. Sakura doesn't deny it and says that he would even lick his hand while at it, making Mai smirk as she squeezes into him even tighter. After shopping, Sakura is eager to see her apartment, but Mai refuses to let him in, still upset that he told her that she should return to show business. Mai says that he doesn't know the real reason she quit, but Sakura says that he does and reveals how she walked away to get back at her leech of a mother, who forced her into a swimsuit photoshoot contract against her will. Enraged, Mai slaps him, memories flooding back of her mother exploiting her for money. Sakura tells her that this pain should be her reason to return and not run away. Mai then asks Sakura how he got the information about her, and Sakura explains that the nosy reporter, Fumika, informed him that she was also interested in adolescence syndrome. Mai asks Sakura if he made any agreement with Fumika to get that information, and he confesses that he did by giving Fumika a picture of the scar on his chest. Hearing that, Mai calls him dumber than bricks, as the paparazzi and the news outlets will be terrorizing his apartment to get news, scaring him and Keed, and Sakura realizes he messed up. Acting quickly, Mai calls up Fumika herself and offers her a deal. Mai asks her not to publish Sakura's chest scar, and instead, Fumika will get an exclusive interview with Mai when she will be returning to the show business. Mai then admits that Sakura was right when he said that she loves acting and wants to continue her career. Then, they arrive at her apartment building, which to Sakura's surprise, is right next to his, and Mai invites Sakura to hang out with her over the weekend, but insists it's not a date. Before leaving, Mai warns him not to be late for it, or she will cancel their outing. That night, Sakura takes a nice, hot bath and screams with excitement over his upcoming date with Mai, but Keed rushes in, worried after hearing the scream, while secretly taking a peek at her brother's pickle. That weekend, while on his way to meet Mai at the station, Sakura spots a little girl crying alone in the park and goes to help her. But before he can do anything, a random chick kicks him, accusing him of inviting the girl to his creepy white van. However, the little girl defends him, and the nosy chick quickly apologizes for what she just did, even offering Sakura to kick her cheeks to make it even. With his kicks rated E for everybody, Sakura kicks her, but the police suddenly pops up. It ends with them getting detained, and after they're released, he rushes to meet Mai at the station. Mai scolds him for being hours later, but continues the date anyway. During their outing, Mai asks Sakura why he cares so much for her. Sakura says he can't ignore her struggles, especially not the same way people once ignored Keed's adolescence syndrome, except for one woman who believed him and lifted up his spirits. Sakura says that he wanted to be that person for Mai, but hearing him talk about a woman, Mai becomes jealous, storms off the train, and ends the date. Years ago, during the peak of Keed's syndrome, Sakura was depressed when he met a girl named Shoko on the beach, and she helped him recover from despair over Keed's condition. Sakura purposefully enrolled in the same school Shoko went to so he could meet her, but he discovered that she never existed there. Sakura admits to Mai that he was in love with Shoko, and Mai gets jealous. Just then, Mai's mother pops up after Mai contacted her to meet, but when her mother approaches them, she walks straight past Mai and speaks to Sakura instead, unable to see her own daughter. The mother demands that Sakura explain why she was called to meet, and Sakura desperately tries to remind her that she has a girl named Mai, but the woman doesn't remember. In frustration, he starts cussing this old hag for being a cheap leech of a home mother, but Mai stops him, and her mother walks away. Out of frustration, Sakura then goes around asking everyone if they remember the beautiful celebrity named Mai, but not one of them remembers her, not even Fumika when he calls her. Heartbroken, Mai wants to give up, but Sakura refuses to give up and insists that they keep searching, saying that she still has him with her. Together, they ride train after train, trying to find someone who remembers her. Out of fear of being forgotten, Mai suddenly asks if Sakura remembers her, and Sakura lovingly recalls every detail about her from her beautiful black hair to her cute pinky toes, until Mai blushes and finally accepts his hand. Later, they decide to rest in a hotel. Mai goes to take a bath and warns Sakura not to peek, but Sakura teases her, saying that the sound of water rolling down her silky skin can make him bust his cap in a jiffy. Mai gets flustered and goes to the bathroom, while Sakura remarks how cute she is. He then calls his best buddy, Kunimi, to ask if he remembers Mai, fully expecting that he doesn't. But to his surprise, Kunimi says that he remembers her. Sakura then contacts Futaba to ask the same question, and she tells him that people at school might still remember her. Later, Sakura and Mai stop by a store to buy clean undies and some jizz preventer just in case. Despite their strange situation, they enjoy their quiet time together. That night, neither of them can sleep, so Mai suggests that they should kiss, but the idiot ruins the chance to get some cheeks by making another dirty joke, losing his chance at her first kiss.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
But before falling asleep, Mai thanks him for never giving up on her. The next morning, Sakura wakes up beside the stunning Mai and blames her for keeping him up all night. As the day goes on, more people are unable to see her. At school, Mai checks if her classmates still remember her, but Futaba breaks the news to Sakura that even more people have forgotten, including Kunimi. Then, the girl who kicked his cheeks from the park, Koga, passes by, and when Sakura asks her about Mai, she and her friends just laugh and call him weird for asking about a non-existent person. Using every ounce of her logic, Futaba concludes that people forget about Mai once they fall asleep, and Sakura realizes that he almost screwed himself by sleeping the other night, which would have made him forget about Mai. After school, Sakura goes to his part-time job, but he's completely distracted, his mind consumed by thoughts of Mai and adolescent syndrome. After work, Sakura stops by a convenience store, buys several energy drinks, and forces himself to stay awake. He opens his journal and writes down everything that happened in case his memory fades. The next morning, Sakura looks exhausted after pulling an all-nighter, and his broken appearance worries Mai. They walk to school together, with Mai still hopeful that someone might notice her today. On the first day of the exams, Sakura struggles to stay awake. Later, when he runs into Futaba, he realizes she slept and no longer remembers Mai, which leaves him all alone to face this syndrome. That night, he continues to fight off sleep, desperately searching for an answer. As the days pass, his condition worsens, and Mai notices his desperate struggle to save her. Later, when Sakura tries to buy more energy drinks, Mai catches him and insists on helping him study. He agrees, but only if she wears the bunny costume, and Mai playfully promises him a reward in the form of another date. So they begin studying together, and Mai uses him as an example to explain the difference between security and guarantee in Japanese. Sakura can't resist teasing her, earning himself a smack with her textbook. But then, hours later, Sakura starts drifting to sleep, and desperately tries to stay away, but Mai reveals that she slipped sleeping pills into his drink. Tearfully, she thanks him for everything he's done for her and whispers her goodbye, knowing he'll forget her in the morning. The next day, Keed wakes up Sakura, telling him that he's going to be late. As he gets up, a bunny costume falls from the bed, and Keed immediately assumes that he bought it for her to wear and help him goon, which flusters her. Sakura then opens his journal and reads an entry describing a bunny girl named Mai he met a month ago. He's confused about what he's reading, but tries to believe what he's written. Refusing to accept it fully, he heads to school, where Kunimi comments that Sakura finally looks like he finally got proper sleep. Suddenly, Sakura freezes, feeling like someone's watching him. At school, Futaba hands him a letter she found in her notebook, one she doesn't remember writing. It talks about how existence depends on being observed, and that to make someone real, others must acknowledge them. The note urges Sakura to create a reason for people to remember. During the exam, Sakura struggles with the difference between security and guarantee when suddenly, a flood of memories of a certain bunny girl crashes into him. He remembers Mai, and how much love he has for her, and tears start falling from his eyes. Overwhelmed, Sakuta bolts out of the classroom, determined to shatter everyone's ignorance and make them remember the girl he loves. The same girl who teases him, blushes when teased back and stole his heart. On an open field, he gathers his massive balls and screams at the top of his lungs that he loves Mai Sakurajima. People think it's a joke and ignore him, but he keeps shouting over and over again, declaring how deeply he loves her, how he wants to spend his life with her, how he wants to grow old by her side, refusing to let people ignore him. His classmates pour out of their rooms to watch this absolute simp confess to John Cena, but suddenly, Mai appears. She rushes toward him and slaps him hard for forgetting her. She says she'll never forgive him, but Sakuta wraps his arms around her, refusing to let go. Mai stomps on his foot, and Sakuta feels the pain but holds her tighter. Looking into her eyes, he tells her not only that he likes her, but that he truly loves her. Mai tells him to say it again in a month, as she doesn't want to answer his feelings while flustered, and Sakuta promises to repeat it every day. With everyone's eyes on them, Mai shouts that the rumors about Sakuta hospitalizing students are lies. Sakuta worries about the teacher's reaction, but Mai tells him she'll face it with him. A week later, life returns to normal, and Kunimi and Futaba call Sakuta a total Sigma for boldly defying the norm and confessing to the girl he loves. One morning weeks later, Keed watches the morning news as Japan dog walks Germany in football. At school, Kunimi mocks Sakuta's chopped haircut, while Futaba joins in the conversation. During lunch, Mai brings Sakuta a homemade meal after he teased her for being a terrible cook. They sit together, and after weeks of telling her that he loves her, Sakuta asks Mai to be his girlfriend. She ignores the question, saying she's tired of hearing him say he loves her. She quickly changes the topic and mentions that she has landed an acting role that includes a kissing scene. Sakuta panics, insisting she turn it down because her lips are only his to taste. Mai says that it's fine considering that he already kissed her, but when Sakuta says that he doesn't remember, Mai is disappointed. She asks if he wants another kiss, and he agrees instantly. Mai tells him to close his eyes, and he does so, believing he's about to lose his lips' virginity, but Mai leans close and pranks him instead, which disappoints him. After calming him down, she explains that the kiss in the role isn't hers, but it's another actress who will be doing it. Sakuta feels sad after being fooled and not treated seriously, so he tells Mai that he's slowly falling out of love. That shocks Mai, and she begs him not to let that happen. Hearing that, Sakuta takes the chance to ask again if she'll be his girlfriend. While blushing heavily, Mai agrees to be his lover. The next morning, Keed once again watches the same news of Japan beating Germany in football. Sakuta notices something strange, but Keed doesn't. At school, Kunimi again mocks Sakuta's haircut, and Futaba joins in the same way, which makes Sakuta suspicious, but when asked, Kunimi insists it's their first time talking like that. As the day continues, Sakuta realizes everything is repeating exactly as before. At lunch, he eats with Mai again, and when she responds just like yesterday, he skips ahead by teasing her first and directly asking her to be his girlfriend again, this time getting the same answer. Later, Sakuta sees a man harassing Koga, offering to show her what his golden pickle looks like, but Sakuta ignores it and walks away. The next day, the same events repeat, confirming a time loop. Sakuta asks Futaba for advice, and she suspects the good old adolescence syndrome. She introduces the concept of Laplace's demon, a being who can predict the future by knowing every atom's position. They suspect someone besides Sakuta is acting as the Laplace demon, repeating the day to fix something that keeps failing. Sakuta starts observing people and notices Koga acting differently. When he confronts her, he realizes she's the one. He asks how many times she's relived the same day, and Koga, relieved someone else notices, admits she has no idea what's happening. Sakuta asks if anything painful has happened lately and suggests adolescent syndrome as the cause, but Koga dismisses it. Suddenly, she drags Sakuta under a table to hide from someone. They stay quiet until the guy leaves. Koga then explains that the man is Misawa, whom her friend Rina has feelings for heavily. But Koga knows that Misawa has an interest in her, and that he only dates for fun, which disgusts her. However, she knows that if she rejects him, her friends might isolate her. As they talk, Misawa returns and finds them in a compromising position. Moments later, Mai walks in and sees them like that. Sakuta tries to explain, but Mai storms off. Sakuta isn't worried since he expects the day to reset. But when it doesn't, he realizes that the anime gods truly hate him. Later, Sakura and Futaba discuss the situation and conclude that Koga is the Laplace demon. Sakura notices Futaba seems upset, and she talks about how she feels miserable for liking Kunimi, who already has a girlfriend. She warns Sakura that if Mai can misunderstand what happened with Koga, Misawa can too, causing the loop to restart and putting Koga in danger again. Later, Koga joins Sakura and Kunimi at their part-time job as a new employee. During the shift, Koga's nosy friends question Sakura about being her boyfriend, leading to awkward misunderstandings. Later, Koga asks Sakura to pretend to be her boyfriend, but he refuses. Sakura tells her to focus on the syndrome, but Koga ignores him and pleads with him to fake date her for a few months. She says people see him as someone cool after his public confession to Mai, so she begs him to consider it, as she doesn't want to be avoided by people, and she wants to be seen as cool for dating him. Her fear of isolation reminds Sakura of Kid. Feeling sympathy, Sakura agrees. Koga wastes no time and immediately invites him on a date to prove to her friends that she can handle romance. Later, while bathing, Sakura gets lost in thought, wondering how Mai would react to what just happened. But then his thoughts are cut short when he sees Mai starring in a new soft drink commercial. Moments later, the real Mai arrives at his apartment, demanding an explanation for what happened between him and Koga. Mai forces Sakura down, kneels like a good dog. While she sits on the bed, after his explanation, she tells him she understands the situation, but still suspects he's hiding something. Sakura explains that Koga's struggles remind him of Kid's, and he doesn't want Koga to end up alone and rejected like his sister once was. Mai lets Sakura off the hook and lets him fake date Koga, but before doing so, she demands that Sakura prove that he's loyal to her. Sakura tries to show it by doing what Johnny Sins did, but Mai kicks him before his pickle goes crazy. When he suggests going on a date, she turns him down because of work. Instead, she hands him a bag containing a dress, saying that she got it for Kid, hoping it will inspire her. When Sakura opens the door, Kid is standing there, trying to eavesdrop on them. He brings her inside and gives her the dress to try on. Kid puts it on, thanks Mai, and adorably asks her to become her sister-in-law. Later, Sakura expresses his gratitude to Mai for being kind to his sister. But Mai warns him to keep his fat glizzy in check around Koga, since that monster only belongs to her. The next day, Sakura asks Kunimi about Misawa and learns that Misawa is a complete douchebag who already has a girlfriend and only uses her for some humpy-pumpy. Fired up, Sakura wants to show him up by being affectionate with Koga. Later, when he meets Koga, Sakura starts by complimenting her before their fake date. She asks for his phone number, but he smugly says he doesn't have a phone, which shocks her, as she couldn't understand how he can survive without a phone. Then, on the train, Koga yawns, and when asked, she says that she's tired from staying up all night chatting with her friends and watching videos her friends sent her. Sakura calls her dumb for doing that, but Koga insists that she needs to follow the trends so not to get left behind. Then, they visit an aquarium, take pictures where Sakura looks like he's dead inside, and look at some penguins. Koga says that Sakura is like the penguin that doesn't care about being laughed at, but she realizes that she's the complete opposite, as someone who cares too much. Afterward, Koga opens up about her past, saying she used to look plain and only changed her style after moving to Tokyo to fit in. Despite liking her new self, she still feels fake, but Sakura reassures her that she's whoever she chooses to be and should embrace it. While walking on the beach, they meet a lost girl named Yonyama who is looking for her lost phone strap. Koga offers to help, but Yonyama refuses since she's not from Koga's popular girl group. Sakura and Koga ignore her and help out anyway. Sakura quickly spots the strap, and Koga rushes to grab it, getting wet in the process. The next day, she catches a cold, and Sakura visits her in the infirmary with food and teases her while help tending to her. When Koga asks why he agreed to help her, Sakura says that she looked troubled. He tells her that she should have stayed home to rest, but she insists on going to school, not wanting to be left behind on the latest trends, even for a day. Koga insists that Sakura is weird for not caring about people hating him, but Sakura believes that he only needs one person to love him for life to be okay, and that hits Koga deeply. A few days later, Koga gives Sakura peaches to return the favor for the food he got her. and he jokes about how he will imagine her peaches when he eats them later. Later, at work, Koga asks Sakuta about Mai, and Sakuta says they would already be together if not for the annoying time loop. When Koga asks if Mai has ever said she loves him, Sakuta realizes she hasn't. That night, Mai calls just to hear his voice, and he's thrilled. They flirt and tease each other while being long distant. Then they talk about future plans, and Sakuta jokes about becoming Santa Claus, so he can only work one day every year. The next day, Kunimi visits Futaba, making her blush, and when Sakuta walks in to see the scene, he quickly leaves, making Futaba panic, not wanting Kunimi to realize her feelings for him. But Sakuta knows that Kunimi is too dumb to notice. They later discuss why the time loop stopped and conclude that Koga must be content with her current life, even if she doesn't realize it. After, Kunimi's cranky baby mama, Kamisato, confronts Sakuta, warning him to stay away from her beloved Kunimi. But it's clear to Sakuta that this skank is jealous of Futaba's outrageous melons and peaches, so Sakuta sarcastically mocks her, which angers her more. Later, at work, Sakuta tells Kunimi about the confrontation, and Kunimi promises to handle it. He then asks if Sakuta's relationship with Koga is real, and Sakuta confirms it. Kunimi then reveals that Misawa has been spreading rumors that Koga is a cheap hoe who likes to gobble glizzies, which angers Sakuta. After work, he runs into Futaba, and asks her for advice to go against an athlete like Misawa, and Futaba suggests using his head. Back home, Mai leaves him a message saying she misses him, and Sakuta wants to call her back, but hesitates out of guilt. The next day, because of the disgusting rumor, Koga walks behind her friends, being isolated from them. Later, Sakuta finds her sitting alone, clearly hurt. Misawa and his gang of douchebags pop up, mocking her. Having enough, Sakuta confronts him, mocking his insecurity for having a tiny willy and calls him out for being an all-around turd. Misawa punches him, but Sakuta stands back up, ready to fight. But just as Sakuta charges at him, he switches to a kick to Misawa's shin, and knocks down this scum. He kicks his face, telling him that he had just recently stepped on turd, and the crowd watches in awe. Realizing that he created a scene, Sakuta takes Koga's hand and runs from the scene. After escaping, Koga blushes, overwhelmed that Sakuta defended her like a real boyfriend. But Sakuta reminds her he's just keeping his promise to protect her. Koga then gets a text from Rene saying she's over Misawa. Wanting to clear the rumor, Koga admits she's still a virgin, and Sakuta laughs, saying he never believed the rumors. She stops and asks how she can repay him, but he only asks her to stay friends when it's all over. Koga freezes, realizing she's fallen for him even more. The next day, Sakuta spots Misawa at the train station, but ignores him completely, boarding the train while other students gossip about the dookie on his face the day before. At school, Koga and her friends see Sakuta, smiling and giggling before walking off, and Sakuta realizes he's too deep into the act now, and if he suddenly breaks up with Koga, no one will believe it. The following day, Mai helps him study, but Sakuta has no motivation, so Mai puts on her bunny outfit to give him some juice of motivation. When he asks why she's being so kind, Mai admits she was impressed seeing him defend Koga and take down Misawa, revealing that she was there when it happened. The next day, Sakuta and Koga go on a date to pick out swimsuits, but Sakuta teases her, saying she doesn't have the figure for it. Koga asks about his relationship with Mai and even supports them, but Sakuta reminds her that because of her, he lost his chance with Mai. They discuss ending their fake relationship later, and Koga comes up with a plan that she'll dump Sakuta after finding out he's still obsessed with Mai, making it believable. Days pass, and Sakuta starts his morning with Keed waking him up. When asked about summer vacation plans, he says that just like Brock Lesnar, he's going to eat, sleep, goon his pickle, and repeat. Then, the day of the final fake date arrives, and he's ready to end things with Koga. At the beach, Koga shows up for their last date, and Sakuta can't help teasing her. He goes all out, calling her cute and making her blush uncontrollably. They eat grilled corn, splash in the water, build sandcastles, and share shaved ice. Koga thanks him sincerely and says goodbye, officially ending their short-lived fake romance, and she wishes him luck in pursuing Mai. The next day, Keed wakes Sakuta up again, but he notices that the day has restarted. He rushes to ask Koga if she experienced the loop too, but she says no, confusing him. He consults Futaba, who concludes that Koga is lying. Futaba explains that Koga might be reliving the day on purpose to keep spending time with him until he falls for her. Sakura ends up repeating the same beach date of corn, water, sandcastles, and shaved ice over and over like he's Subaru from ReZero. By the fourth restart, he's certain Koga is lying, so this time, he changes the plan and takes her to a different town. They sightsee, snack, and visit a temple. Sakura writes a fake love wish, warning Koga that lying to the gods will curse her, so she panics and writes her name too, and Sakura hangs the wish for her. When Koga asks to return to the beach, Sakura refuses, demanding she stop lying. She pretends not to know what he means, but he calls her out directly, saying his love for Mai will never change, not even after a million dates with her. Rain begins to pour, and Koga breaks down in tears. She confesses that she truly believed she could change Sakura's heart by repeating the date. She says she originally wanted to support his love for another girl, but ended up falling deeper for him every time the loop restarted. She admits that it hurts knowing that she's just a burden to him and Mai because she knows he loves Mai, not her. Through tears, Koga blames Sakura for being too nice to her, but Sakura tells her to stop lying to herself and say what she really feels. While trembling, Koga finally shouts the truth that she loves him, breaking the loop cycle. The next morning, Japan beats Germany in football once again, and Sakura realizes Koga has reset everything. At school, he repeats his confession to Mai. She responds coldly, but Sakura plays it the same way as before, leading to the same sweet result of Mai blushing and agreeing to become his baby mama. Then, Sakura surprises her by asking how she really feels about him, and Mai answers by kissing his cheek, confirming her love. After that, Sakura sees Koga with Misawa, but this time, she confidently rejects him, saying she already loves a certain idiot who has a cool side within him. When Sakura asks who she means, she admits it's him and jokingly says he owes her for ruining her social life. Sakura promises to stay her friend, and she smiles at that. Later, while talking with Futaba, Sakura notices Koga walking home alone, only to see her meet new friends who appreciate her for who she is. Futaba theorizes that Sakura and Koga were linked when their atoms somehow collided. Sakura jokes about kicking Koga, and Futaba demands to see his soft peaches for her research to prove it right. Afterward, Sakura finally walks home with Mai again, now officially together. As they stroll through the rain, they pass a mysterious girl protecting a cat under her umbrella. Sakura stops to help and realizes in shock that the girl is none other than Shoko. The meeting brings Sakura back to when they first met at the beach, and while Shoko brightly tried to talk to him, Sakura kept trying to push Shoko away. However, Shoko refused to stand down, and that became the moment everything changed for him. Sakura wakes up to find Kid and reminds her that he is her brother, not her baby daddy. Weeks have passed since his reunion with Shoko, but he realizes that this version of her is different, and the Shoko who once knew him doesn't seem to recognize him. Ever since the meeting, Shoko has been visiting Sakura's place regularly to see the cat she saved, which Sakura has chosen to adopt to accompany his other cat. Kid watches the two while jealous, suspecting that Sakura wants to bag another little sister to replace her, and while Sakura assures her that his only little sister is her, Kid intends to learn the ways to make her older brother love her for real. Curious, Sakura asks Shoko if she has a hot older sister, or an even hotter cougar of a mother who looks like her. But when Shoko says that she has no siblings, Sakura decides to talk to Futaba about this. Elsewhere, Futaba is taking pictures to start her OnlyFans account when Sakura calls her up. When they meet up, Sakura is stunned by how different and much more attractive she looks without her glasses and her hair down. He asks about her uniform, and she says that she needs to go to school to ensure her club stays active and does not get closed down. Sakura then tells her that he met Shoko, which surprises her to know that she's real, but he explains that this Shoko he met is different than the one he fell in love with. She says that there are myths that everyone has a doppelganger, but she assures Sakura that as long as nothing bad has happened, Sakura shouldn't be worried and continue to live life. They walk past a poster for a fireworks festival, which reminds Sakura of the same one he, Kunimi, and Futaba attended, and suggests that they go again. But this time, Futaba wears a kimono to rizz up Kunimi and lure him away from his toxic lover. But Futaba is disgusted by the suggestion and walks away. Later, at work, Sakura meets Kunimi, and they discuss their girlfriends, but Sakura vents about how Mai is away for a week for a job, while he's stuck alone with having to spit and tickle his own pickle. Koga arrives wearing a yukata, and Sakuta compliments her for looking cute despite lacking the minerals on her torso, irritating her instantly. Then, when Sakuta starts working, Mai shows up to surprise him. He teases her for leaving him all alone, and Mai apologizes for being a bad girlfriend who abandoned her boyfriend for work. After work, they walk home together, and Mai asks him about the new Shoko, and Sakuta says that even after talking to Futaba, he has not figured anything out, but all he wants now is to be lovey-dovey with Mai. But then, they spot Futaba unusually entering a shady internet cafe and decide to follow her. Trying to track her down, Sakuta calls Futaba's phone, and she answers him. But to his confusion, Futaba appears in person without her phone, and when she sees Sakuta, she quickly runs away. However, Sakuta catches up, and Futaba explains that adolescent syndrome is added again, duplicating her so that two Futabas now exist. She says she was in the cafe because the other one took over her home. Sakuta suggests that Futaba stay at his place, but Mai immediately refuses, fearing that the gravity of Futaba's two big planets might pull him in to cheat. Instead, Mai insists on staying there too. When they get back home, Keed points out that her brother is being surrounded by too many baddies lately, but assures him that she will always be his #1 girl. Sakuta introduces Futaba to Keed, and Keed suggests that she sleep with him, while the girls can use her room, but Sakuta refuses. Later, Futaba takes a bath, and Sakuta stays nearby, asking her questions. She admits she's scared and doesn't understand why this is happening, worrying that the other Futaba might end up doing something freaky like sending Kunimi a photo of her roast beef or even selling her feet pictures online. That night, Sakuta sleeps outside to let the girls have his room, but Mai pops up to join and accompany him. He asks what she's doing, and Mai says that she wants to be close and spend time with her boyfriend after being away for so long. He asks her about Futaba, and she feels a bit sad that he's more focused on her than on his own lover in front of him. She feels sad that they won't go on a date on her day off, knowing that Sakuta will spend his to Futaba. Sakuta wants to ask her for a favor and watch over Futaba, and Mai says that it would mean they're even after she left him for work. Sakuta asks that she reward him, and Mai informs him that she doesn't mind him taking initiative, hinting that he kiss her. Sakuta goes for it, but flops it by bumping her head, ruining the moment. However, Mai reassures him that they'll have plenty of chances later. The next morning, everyone enjoys Mai's cooking, and Sakuta can't help but wish she'd become his wife someday. The doorbell rings, and Shoko arrives to visit the cats, noticing how popular Sakuta is with women. At school, Sakuta looks for the other Futaba, but doesn't find her in the lab. He then finds Futaba instead watching Kunimi play basketball to peek at his rock-hard abs. He teases her for fanboying over Kunimi, and Futaba tells him to go choke on wood. When Sakuta asks why she likes him, Futaba recalls how Kunimi once gave her chocolate bread when she was hungry, which deeply moved her. But she says that it wasn't the bread that won her over. It was the timing of him showing up with kindness during her difficult time. Futaba asks Sakuta why he's here, and he reveals to Futaba that the other Futaba is living at his place. Sakuta says that while he initially suspected that one of them is fake, after meeting both of them, he doesn't know anymore. He adds that the Futaba at home doesn't know why this is happening, but the Futaba in front of him says that the one at home is lying, as both Futabas know why this happened, but refuse to elaborate. Meanwhile, the Futaba at Sakuta's house tutors Keed and Shoko in math, while Mai receives a call from her agent. When Mai casually mentions being at her boyfriend's home, the agent reacts in shock. Later, Sakuta talks to Kunimi, who expresses concern about Futaba's well-being, and that makes Sakuta see that there's hope for Futaba's feelings for Kunimi. Then, Sakuta calls home, and when Mai answers, she orders him to come home, as there is something important for them to talk about. But their conversation is interrupted by Kamisato, who confronts Sakuta about being friends with Futaba. She tells Sakuta that Futaba is slowly destroying herself, and when he asks what she means, Kamisato shows Sakuta her secret account, filled with creamy pictures of her for the boys to goon to. Later, back home, Futaba is taking a bath, and Sakuta asks her more questions, but this time, he brings up her secret account, which strikes a chord and makes her understand why there are two of her. She admits that she first made the account to interact with others normally, but it soon became her private space to get herself some needed attention in her attention-deprived life. Futaba confesses that she often notices men ogling her, which fills her with disgust toward her own body, and posting her photos online gave her the attention she craved, yet also filled her with guilt, creating a contradiction within herself. She believes this conflict between her guilt and her deranged desire is what caused her to split in two. So Futaba asks Sakura to help convince her other self to stop uploading photos and exposing herself to the world. Afterward, Sakura meets with Mai and finally asks what she wanted to talk about. He panics when she reveals her agency has forbidden her from dating or even seeing her boyfriend. Once he calms down, they agree to endure the distance for the sake of her career and promise to fight for their relationship. The next day, Sakura tells Futaba that he knows about her photos, and she suspects that he's here to play her daddy and stop her from continuing showing strangers her sweet cheeks. But Sakura explains that he's spending time with her because Mai can't be with him, which makes Futaba uncomfortable. She opens up more about her photos, saying they stem from her hatred of her own body and the creamy curves that she's ashamed of. Futaba then asks Sakura to choose between her and the other version of herself. After days of thinking, Sakura admits that he still can't choose. Kunimi suddenly appears, asking for a fan, and Sakura encourages Futaba to help him, helping her get closer to him. A week passes, and Sakura keeps visiting the bolder Futaba until she finally stops posting online. Suddenly, Futaba receives a threatening message from someone who recognized her in the photos and wants to meet her so he can expand her domain, or he will expose her. Sakura grabs her phone and threatens to call the police on this degenerate, and after experiencing this, Futaba begs Sakura to delete her account. Then, Sakura walks her home, and she apologizes for what happened, but he assures her that it's okay. Futaba asks him to stay over in case her stalker appears, and Sakura jokingly warns he might drink her bath water later, but Futaba immediately threatens to report him to Mai. That night, paranoia gets the best of her, and she calls out for Sakura over and over again while bathing. Between her anxious words, she reveals how lonely her life has been with both parents always working. But everything changed when she met Sakura and Kunimi. She remembers first seeing Sakura coming to school despite everyone shunning him for his hospitalization incident. His no care in the world attitude intrigued her, and they became friends soon after. Now, she fears losing both him and Kunimi once they move on with their own relationships. But Sakura assures her that she's wrong about them and calls Kunimi to prove it. Kunimi quickly arrives, worried that something happened to Futaba, and seeing how much Kunimi cares makes Futaba emotional. She tears up, realizing that she is not alone, and she truly has friends who care about her. After things settle down, Sakura surprises them with fireworks, wanting to share a moment of joy together. They light them on the beach, laughing and enjoying the night, rediscovering the strength of their friendship. Futaba asks Kunimi why he didn't question what was going on, but he says he doesn't need to, as some things are understood without words. His response makes her heart flutter again, and he invites them both to watch the upcoming fireworks festival together. The next morning, Kunimi leaves, and the spicier Futaba tells Sakura to take care of the shy Futaba, who she knows needs him more than her. When Sakura returns home, he tells the other Futaba that the account has been deleted. She notices his phone wallpaper, which is a photo of him, Kunimi, and the other Futaba, and quietly smiles. The next day, Sakura wakes up with cats sprawled across his face. Keed tells him that Futaba has disappeared. Panicking, he searches for her in the rain. At her house, the spicy Futaba tells him they still haven't merged and guesses where the other might be. Sakura rushes to the school, drenched, and finds her there. He invites her to watch the fireworks with him and Kunimi, but she declines, believing she'll soon vanish and the other version will remain as the real Futaba. She breaks down, convinced that her other self is the better friend to him and Kunimi. But Sakura calls her an idiot and tells her to meet him at the train station. But as he's leaving, Sakura collapses and wakes up in the hospital with Mai at his side, who informs him that he got sick because of the intense rain. He then goes to confront Futaba and tells her that she has to stop believing that she doesn't matter, and that her existence is precious to the people around her. His words reach her, and she agrees to join him and Kunimi to watch the fireworks. Sakura encourages her to say that aloud to someone important, and she calls her other self, telling her she wants to watch the fireworks together. In that moment, Futaba pops out of existence, and when Sakura answers the phone, he hears Futaba's voice and realizes that they have merged into one. Later, the trio attends the fireworks festival, with Futaba wearing her kimono. As fireworks light up the sky, Futaba confesses her feelings to Kunimi, but doesn't expect an answer, knowing his heart belongs elsewhere. With tears in her eyes, she smiles softly, cherishing the moment with her friends as the fireworks burst above them. Weeks pass, and Sakura feels down, missing Mai's warmth after they have been banned from dating in public. But Mai reassures him that once the new school year begins, they'll have more time together. When Sakura looks for her at school, she's nowhere to be seen. Eventually, he finds her outside her apartment, but to his shock and confusion, Mai doesn't recognize him and accuses him of being her sister's stalker who wants to sniff on her gooch. Suddenly, a petite blonde appears, claiming to be the real Mai, while the girl before him is her sister, Nodoka, who has swapped bodies with her. She explains that the switch happened due to the adolescence syndrome, which Sakura is tired of dealing with. Inside Mai's apartment, Nodoka panics and insists it's a dream, but Mai tells her to accept reality and stop whining. Sakura then learns that Nodoka is an idol, but also Mai's younger, less hot, more annoying sister. Mai explains that Nodoka came over the previous night, refused to go home, and they woke up having exchanged bodies. Mai decides they should live as each other until they figure out how to switch back. They trade schedules and habits, and Sakura is tasked with helping Nodoka act like Mai. The next morning, on the way to school, Nodoka worries that Mai's classmates will see through her, but Sakura assures her that her famous celebrity of a sister is actually a loner. Nodoka fires back that her sister's not the only one without friends, making it easier to imitate her. Later, Mai confides in Sakura that she might have caused this, as her mother turned her into a celebrity out of spite toward her ex-husband and his new wife, Nodoka's mother, who then made Nodoka an idol to compete with her. Later, Sakura worries that Nodoka might not handle riding trains as an idol, but she assures him she's not that much of a spoiled brat. She studies Mai's behavior carefully and soon impresses Sakura with how convincingly she mimics her sister. Afterward, Sakura meets Futaba, who believes all cases of adolescence syndrome stem from unstable emotions. Sakura admits Nodoka's issue lies in feeling inferior to Mai, though he doesn't know how to solve it. Later, Sakura and Nodoka head to the beach. He ogles her legs, thinking it wouldn't be a bad way to die between them. While Nodoka wonders how her sister could ever fall for such a wanking loving loser, Sakura then mocks her for being dishonest and immature, running away instead of confronting her feelings about Mai. When Nodoka tries to argue, he shuts her down by saying Mai already knows the truth. Later that day, Nodoka asks to stay at Sakura's place. Sakura doesn't think it's a good idea, and Nodoka pleads him to sweet-talk Mai. But then, Mai herself pops up. Tired of hiding her feelings, Nodoka admits that she hates her sister for always being the standard she can't meet, and every time she falls short, her mother mocks her. She confesses that when Mai was on hiatus, her own career began to rise. But when Mai returned to show business, she outshines Nodoka effortlessly, which frustrated her. Mai responds that she hates Nodoka too, but blames their piece of turd father for pitting them against each other as rival daughters of two different mothers. Later, Mai moves into Sakura's place, and Ki becomes suspicious of her brother constantly bringing new girls home. Sakura then takes a bath, thinking of the possibilities of a gremlin like Nodoka being his sister-in-law in the future. After he finishes his bath, Mai asks what took him so long, and he jokes about him choking his barracuda, but Mao changes the subject to his scar and how it hasn't faded at all. He asks her to touch it so he can goon to it that night, but she refuses, afraid to taint her sister's body. Weeks go by as both sisters live each other's lives, working, practicing, and doing interviews as if they've always done it. One day, during Shoko's visit, Sakura once again asks if she has a sister, but Shoko says she doesn't. Later, at work, Mai, still trapped in Nodoka's body, drops by to complain about how controlling Nodoka's mother is. Sakura updates her on Nodoka's progress, but Mai brushes it off, saying her sister can handle herself. Days later, Sakura passes by a film set and spots Nodoka, acting as Mai. She struggles under pressure, suffers a panic attack, and collapses, with Sakura witnessing everything. Later, he tells Mai what happened, explaining that Nodoka couldn't handle the same level of stress that Mai endures. At school, Kunimi notices Sakuta's gloomy face. Sakuta asks how it feels to have an older sister who outshines you. Kunimi doesn't know, so he calls Kamisato, who does. When Sakuta asks her the same question, Kamisato says that having a superior sister sucks as she gets compared to her all the time, which makes Sakuta understand a bit more about Mai and Nodoka's relationship. Later, Mai gives Sakuta a spare key to her apartment, saying that she needs him to talk some sense into Nodoka. Before he goes in, she warns him not to open the cabinet in the Japanese-style room. When Sakuta visits, he reassures Nodoka that she did well despite fainting, making her smile for real for the first time. He tells her that's how she should smile instead of imitating Mai's fake charm. While looking around at the mess, Sakuta remembers he's basically acting as Mai's housekeeper. As Nodoka takes a bath, his curiosity gets the better of him, and he opens the forbidden cabinet, hoping to find Mai's secret stash of vibrating pickle. Inside the cabinet, Sakuta finds a yellow box, and when he looks inside, all he can think about is that the sisters should just make up. Later, he returns home, tells Mai that he has done all the chores at her place for Nodoka, and adds that Mao should reconcile with Nodoka already. His words annoy her, and she goes to bed without showing him any affection, leaving him dry. Sometime later, Sakuta watches a horror movie with Nodoka, and she keeps screaming at everything like Diddy was there chasing her. Sakuta advises her to study Mai's more lighthearted films instead if she really wants to learn how to act like her. But Nodoka is frustrated as her shoot is tomorrow. When Sakuta tries to leave, Nodoka stops him and asks him to stay while she takes a bath, saying that she can feel an aura every time she is in the bath. However, Sakuta declines, not wanting to piss Mai off, knowing she hates it when he's late. When he gets home, Keed greets him from the floor, and Sakuta asks what is happening. She says that she has her own reason to do this. Then, she steps out wearing her school uniform, determined to return to school. Sakuta watches proudly, admiring her courage despite her trauma, and Keed says that she needs to lock in to compete with his roster of girls. When Mai comes home, she sees Nodoka in her uniform and praises her for looking cute. She hands to Keed some pudding she bought, then hands Sakuta tickets for him and Nodoka to go to her upcoming idol show. Days later, Nodoka returns to the film set, and this time, everything goes smoothly, earning her praises from the film crew, all the while Sakuta watches over her. Sakuta takes her to the beach afterward and praises her performance, but Nodoka rejects the compliment, still believing she falls short of her sister. When Mai calls, Nodoka passes the phone to Sakuta. Mai says she received a voicemail from his father, who wants to meet him. Sakuta then gives Nodoka a ticket to Mai's concert, and it reminds her of when she first met Mai, and how excited and amazed she felt back then. Accepting that she can never be like her sister, Nodoka dreams of creating her own identity as an idol and becoming the group's lead singer so that her mother will finally be proud of her. Later, Nodoka asks Sakuta if he carries any hatred towards his own family for leaving him to care for Keed alone, but he answers no, saying he understands why things turned out that way. Later, Nodoka, still in Mai's body, meets Nodoka's mother, who immediately begins interrogating her about where the real Nodoka is. In that moment, Nodoka realizes how much her mother truly worries about her. A few days later, Sakuta meets with his father, and an awkward silence hangs between them. Sakuta tells him that Keed is slowly improving and wants to return to school, which makes his father happy, knowing things are getting better. Sakuta then asks him what it's like to be a parent, and his father tells him that to be a parent means facing new obstacles and experiences every day, even ones he never expected to face, and mentions an embarrassing story about the time he fell asleep while changing Sakuta's diaper. Weeks later, Sakuta and Nodoka attend Mai's idol concert. The group performs with energy that could rival any plastic-faced Korean idol group, and Nodoka watches in awe. During intermission, the members talk and joke around about performing commando, sweat dripping down their cheeks, to appease the crowd. Then, they perform another song, and when Mai performs, she outshines the others, even saving one clumsy member from embarrassing herself. Nodoka watches in admiration, but then, it's time to find out who gets to be their next vocal lead, and when they announce that it's Nodoka, everyone roars in celebration, except for Nodoka. After the show, Nodoka sees her mother congratulating Mai, not knowing that it's not her daughter, and telling her how proud she is. Crushed, Nodoka runs to the beach and dashes into the sea, trying to drown herself. Sakura rushes after her and stops her as she breaks down, screaming that she doesn't belong in this world. He tells her that Mai would be devastated to lose her sister, but Nodoka refuses to believe it, convinced that Mai despises her. Sakura then shows her proof otherwise. Sakura drags Nodoka back to Mai's apartment and opens the same box from the cabinet. Inside are stacks of letters that Nodoka wrote to Mai over the years, proving how much Mai cherishes her. Nodoka admits she sent those letters when she was too young to understand that they had different mothers. She thought she was only being a bother once she realized they weren't full sisters. Suddenly, Mai's voice fills the room, revealing that she's been listening. Mai explains that those letters gave her the strength and courage to keep working hard, even when she was exhausted and felt like quitting. Overwhelmed, Nodoka bursts into tears while Mai thanks her for being such a wonderful little sister. Nodoka screams, demanding to know why Mai can do everything better, even being her. Mai vents her frustration by slapping Sakura instead, claiming she can't risk damaging Nodoka's pretty face since her fans adore it. Then, Mai reveals that Nodoka's mother, despite her strictness, was trembling with worry over whether her daughter was truly happy. Nodoka breaks down again, crying that all she wants is for her mother to smile and love her sincerely. Mai hugs her tightly as Nodoka sobs and apologizes. In that moment, the two sisters finally understand each other, and instantly switch back to their rightful bodies. They celebrate, and Sakura is overjoyed to have his girlfriend back in her original baddie form. The next day, Sakura and Futaba conclude that the body swap happened because Nodoka wanted to become like Mai, while Mai herself felt a bit envious of Nodoka for having a mother who truly cared. Later, Sakura heads to Mai's apartment, eager for some romantic time, but his plans fall apart when he learns Nodoka will also be living there. Nodoka thanks him for saving her at the beach and says she finally understands why Mai fell for a loser like him. Suddenly, Mai walks out with bad news, saying that their relationship has gone viral. Then, it becomes the biggest scandal of the century since Johnny Depp vs. Amber Heard, and the media start bombarding Mai with questions about her boyfriend. Mai apologizes for the controversy affecting her new film, but begins praising Sakura as her lover, saying that he was the reason she returned to show business. She firmly puts the press in their place, telling them to leave her lover out of the spotlight, and watching her on the television, Keed is inspired to better herself. A month later, things return to normal, and Mai is relieved that their relationship remains intact. Sakura then showers Mai with flattery from head to toe, admiring every inch of her and declaring that he's the luckiest man alive. He asks if she feels the same, and Mai tells him she loves him more than he could ever realize. They part ways for the day, and Sakura discovers a letter from Shoko, asking to meet. He instantly knows it's from the real Shoko, the girl he once loved dearly. Sakura shows the letter to Futaba and asks how he should handle it. Futaba advises him to tell Mai first, but Sakura hesitates. He worries that if the roles were reversed, he'd feel betrayed if Mai met her old crush. Suddenly, Futaba confesses that she's already been updating Mai through text, and Mai bursts in to scold Sakura. She tells him to be back by 6 after meeting Shoko, which confuses him since she isn't jealous. Mai explains that she's also curious about the two Shokos and how one of them saved her boyfriend. Amazed by her maturity, Sakura leaps to the window and screams to the world about how much he loves her, embarrassing her completely. She tells him to show his love in a different way, so he tries to kiss her, but she pushes him away and says that she refuses to kiss him when he's about to meet his old love. Later, on their way home, Keed's old friend, Kano, pops up and asks to speak with Sakura privately. Sakura tells Mai to meet Shoko while he talks with Kano. Then, Kano confesses that she feels guilty for not stopping Keed's bullying and informs him that after Keed left school, the bullies got a taste of their own medicine. Still burdened by guilt, she asks if she can meet Keed to apologize, but Sakura refuses, worried it might reopen old wounds. At the beach, Shoko never shows up, and Sakura decides to return home with Mai, but not before writing a message in the sand for Shoko, saying he's found another baddie to date and love than her. Back home, Keed excitedly shows Sakura her goals for the year, from stepping out of the house to eating out. Sakura reads them and finds that most involve her wanting to become his future lover/sister. But the one that stands out to Sakura is Keed, saying that she wants to go back to school. Touched, Sakura encourages her to start small and suggests visiting pandas first, which excites her even more. At dinner, Mai prepares a meal so delicious that Keed is inspired and vows to learn to cook like her. Suddenly, the phone rings, and it is from Shoko. Sakura answers, but it turns out to be the other Shoko. When he asks if she sent the letter, she denies it. Keed then asks if she can answer the next call from Shoko as part of her goals for the year. Mai, impressed by Keed's determination, suggests practicing by answering a call from her. When the phone rings again, Keed trembles but musters the courage to answer. Mai congratulates her for being brave, but Keed suddenly collapses with a fever, and even then, she smiles sweetly and says she can't wait to go outside to see the pandas. Later that night, Sakura checks on the sleeping Keed and notices a strange bruise forming on her neck. In a dream, Shoko appears, encouraging him to be a kinder person. Sakura wakes up from the dream with tears in his eyes and a feeling he can't explain. Days later, Koga checks on him, asking if he's okay. Sakura tries to charm his way out of her concern, but Koga isn't fooled. She asks him to help lift a beer tank, and when he does so, she counts down, lifting it up using the Mississippi's, which catches him off guard. Embarrassed, she admits she says that line often and feels awkward realizing how it makes her sound like a total loser, but Sakura admits that her words cheered him up. When Sakura gets home, he finds Keed answering a phone call from Mai. Then, Mai tells Sakura that Keed has an announcement to make, and Keed proudly shows him her step-by-step plan to prepare herself to go outside. She starts by picking out cute clothes with Mai, which Sakura sees as a big step forward. After showing her outfit, Keed asks to go outside. Sakura helps her carefully from choosing shoes, standing as her shield, and encouraging her with his calm words as her brother. Keed trembles, afraid to fail, but refuses to give up, not wanting to stay trapped forever. Sakura opens the door, and though she keeps her eyes shut, he leads her outside. When she finally opens them, she realizes she's outdoors and bursts into tears, not out of fear, but out of pure sheer joy. Sakura hugs her as she cries, deeply moved by her courage. From that day, Keed continues to improve. She ventures out farther until she can eat at Mai's place and even play at the park. A month later, Futaba teases Sakura for being a sister lover, but praises him for being a wonderful brother. Later, Keed rides a train with everyone and clings to her brother, afraid of strangers. Sakura gently tells her to look outside, and she's amazed to see the ocean again after so long. They all enjoy a peaceful picnic on the beach, laughing and eating rice balls together. Suddenly, Kano appears, but Keed doesn't recognize her old friend. That hurts Kano, and Sakura quietly explains that Keed no longer has her memories. A couple of years ago, Sakura tried to wake up his sister for school, but he caught her scared at the sight of him, and unable to recognize who he was or even where she was. The doctors concluded that Keed suffered from a stress-induced dissociative disorder, causing her to lose her sense of identity and all her memories, essentially giving birth to a new version of herself. Sakura realizes that Keed erased the memories of being bullied by her friends to protect her own heart. At first, Sakura could hardly bring himself to speak to her, unable to accept that the sister he knew was gone. The difference between the old Keed and the current one drove him to the edge, until one day, he came home to find Keed covered in wounds and bruises, and his mother slowly breaking down mentally, unable to accept her daughter's condition. One night, Sakura suddenly felt a sharp, knife-like pain across his chest, and a tiger-like claw-like scar appeared. The doctor dismissed his absurd story, claiming he had done it to himself for attention. Desperate and alone, Sakura sneaked out to the beach, where he met Shoko, who listened to him and believed every word. From then on, he kept meeting her, gradually falling for her kindness. When he asked why she had believed him, Shoko shared an important lesson about how everyone lived in their own unique world, and the best thing one could do was to live kindly alongside others. It made Shoko try to be a little kinder every day, and it opened Sakura's eyes. Overwhelmed, he cried and told her that he wanted to become a person like her, someone gentle and supportive toward others and their pain. From that day on, Sakura gave Keed a notebook where she could write her thoughts and feelings. He accepted the Keed before him for who she was, and she burst into tears, moved by her brother's understanding. Soon after, they separated from their parents, and Sakura stayed with Keed, while their father took care of their mother. Their father promised Keed that her parents would always be waiting for her. For a long time, Sakura still hoped for the old Kid to return. But over time, he started fearing what would happen to the Kid he knew then if that day ever came. Sakura later apologizes to Mai for keeping all of this from her, and though she forgives him, she admits that she wishes he had told her sooner. The next morning, Sakura notices new bruises forming on Kid's skin. Later, he learns that Mai will be leaving for a film shoot far away, and she reminds him to call if anything goes wrong. When Sakura returns home, Kid is trying on her old school uniform, asking him to take her outside again. She feels bad about not remembering Kano, now knowing that Kano was once her friend. She says that she is scared to know people who knew the old Kid, but is now also scared of not knowing them at all. Sakura tells her that Kano was a friend, and she left a book for Kid to read. When Kid opens it, she finds a note inside, and when she opens it, the note triggers her memory of Kano, and she collapses on the spot. At the hospital, the doctors tell Sakura and his father that there's a chance her old memories might come back. When Kid finally wakes, Sakura feels relief wash over him, thinking she hasn't changed. He calls Mai to explain what's happening, unaware that Kid is listening quietly the whole time. Later, Sakura tells her that she can ask for anything to celebrate her release from the hospital. He suggests seeing the pandas, but Kid says she wants to go to school instead. Sakura agrees and asks his father for help making her wish come true. His father accepts, but in return, asks Sakura to introduce him to his girlfriend. Sakura promises to do it later. The next day, Sakura sees off Mai, who will be gone for her job for a couple of weeks, and Sakura promises that he will always be there when she calls. After she leaves, Nodoka asks if he's scared about Kid's condition, and Sakura admits that, as her big brother, it's his job to always look strong, even though he's terrified when she's not looking. Hearing that, Nodoka feels touched and apologizes for asking too much. Later, a school counselor visits Sakura's place to meet Kid, and she gives Kid advice to ease her into how to start visiting school again and motivates her to keep improving. The next day, with full bravery, Kid steps outside of their apartment building and heads to school on her own feet with Sakura at her side. But when she hears students laughing, she panics, thinking they're mocking her, so they decide to stop and give up for the day. Days later, they try again, but Kid grows impatient, thinking her progress isn't enough. Sakura notices the bruise spreading and urges her to rest, but she refuses, running off and shouting that she doesn't have time to take things slowly. It's then that Sakura realizes she knows the old Kid is returning. Fear grips her when she sees a group of girls, and the bruises spread even faster. She breaks down crying, asking why she can't move forward. Determined, Sakura takes her on a trip to the train station and ends up at the zoo, surprising her completely. Kid lights up when she sees the pandas and all the other animals, her eyes sparkling with joy. Sakura tells her she can visit anytime and gives her an annual zoo pass, making her light up with excitement at the thought of coming back. That night, they stop for pudding and take a new route home, one that leads them past the school. Sakura climbs the gate and invites Kid to peek inside. They quietly explore the empty halls, and Kid softly says that next time, she wants to come when the sun is out. They plan to celebrate her completing her goals the next day. But when morning comes, Kid wakes up speaking in a different tone and in a different presence, like she's a completely different person. Sakura's heart sinks as he realizes that her old sister has returned. Meanwhile, Mai keeps trying to reach Sakura after hearing that Kid went to school the other night, but he never picks up. Sakura instead calls his father, explaining that Kid has regained her old memories and asks him to come to the hospital to see her. When they arrive, the doctor informs them that Kid doesn't even remember having amnesia and should stay under observation for a while. Kid begins speaking exactly how she used to, and her father breaks down in tears of happiness. Meanwhile, unable to contain his overwhelming emotions, Sakura walks out of the room and breaks into a desperate run down the hall, crying uncontrollably. He screams, begging, pleading to whoever is listening to return the other Kid, the one who made new memories with him, to come back so they can see the pandas together. Suddenly, blood starts seeping through his chest where the tiger-like scar once was, and Shoko appears out of nowhere, almost like a ghost summoned by his pain. She helps him home, tending to his wound and changing his clothes while trying to calm him down. In his despair, Sakura calls himself useless, but Shoko gently tells him that he did everything he could with the heart he has. She adds that Keed loved him deeply and cherished every moment they shared before she disappeared. To prove it, Shoko opens Keed's diary and begins reading aloud. In it, Keed writes about how she felt isolated from everyone, as they all saw her as a stranger living in their daughter's body. But to her, Sakura was different. He was someone who stayed by her side, letting her live freely as Keed. She writes about watching her brother grow up, enter school, get his first job, and even getting himself a stunning girlfriend named Mai Sakurajima, the celebrity. Keed knew that Sakura carried guilt for not saving her from the bullying, and she worried he would feel that guilt again once she was gone. That's why she created her list of goals, so that she can achieve them together with him, so he wouldn't be left with regret. She wanted him to smile whenever he thought of her, not cry. Keed ends her diary, begging for just a little more time to fulfill her dream and thanking Sakura for giving her so many wonderful memories. And she ends her diary with a confession of love for his beloved brother, knowing then that her time was limited. Sakura's tears fall, but he forces himself to smile through them, refusing to betray Keed's wish to see him happy. The next morning, he wakes up to find a note from Shoko saying she's gone home. His stomach growls, and he starts eating everything in sight, laughing like a lunatic between bites. He notices a message from Mai, asking whether Keed managed to go to school. Sakura calls her and explains everything, and how Keed has lost all memory of the past 2 years she spent with him. When Mai asks if he's okay, he fakes a laugh and says that he's fine. Later, Sakura starts joking with Keed again, asking if she likes pandas. She says yes, so he invites her to see them together. She mocks him for it, calling him a loser who invites his sister out to a date because he doesn't have a lover, but he shoots back that he already has one, leaving her stunned, and he promises to introduce her sometime. Days pass, and the older Shoko never appears again. Sakura begins to question whether she ever existed at all, and Futaba suggests that she might have only been his illusion of what he thinks Keed would be like without the bullying. Some days later, Mai visits Sakura's apartment after weeks of work, and Sakura can't believe his eyes. He lets her in, and she tells him to get dressed while she makes them some tea. But then, Mai finds Shoko's message and demands an explanation. Sakura tries to clarify that nothing happened between them, but Mai, feeling extremely hurt and angry, walks out of there. Sakura runs after her, finding her in tears. He tries to console her, but she rejects his advances and leaves. From that moment, Sakura becomes a hollow shell of himself, and his buddies notice the emptiness in his eyes. Later, when he runs into Nodoka, she scolds him harshly, calling him an idiot who is heartless and thoughtless for what he did. She tells him that all Mai wanted was to cheer him up during his hardest days, and even prioritized him, even though that it is now her birthday. Her words snap Sakura back to life. He rushes to find Mai, riding the train and running through the city like a man possessed until he reaches her film set. When she sees him, Mai pulls him into her car. She realizes her boyfriend didn't even bring money to get back home, so she arranges a hotel room for him through her staff. Then, as they gaze at the city skyline together, Sakura wishes her a happy birthday. Mai's agent gives them 15 minutes for their little date. Seeing that it's cold, Sakura does a Chad move and puts his jacket around her body, and apologizes for being a lousy boyfriend who didn't appreciate her enough. But Mai also apologizes for not being there when he needed her most. Sakura tells her how much it means to have her by his side and promises to return that same love and strength. Sensing the mood, Mai orders him to close his eyes, and Sakura believes that his lips are about to taste heaven, but instead, she pinches his cheek and laughs, saying that her pinches are worth as much as her kisses. Afterward, at the hospital, Keed and Sakura prepare to leave, and Keed thanks Sakura for everything he did for her, saying she's ready to go to school again. He asks if she's sure, and Keed says that she'll be okay, knowing she won't be alone. If you watched this anime recap until the end and want a part 2, comment down below Bunny Girl Baddie, and if you love anime recaps like this, watch this video.